President of Arab America, Warren David.
Tell everybody here, it's so nice to see all of you. It's really actually heartening to see all of you, because as you know, we lived here for so many years in Detroit and now in Washington, D.C., but it's so great to be back home in Michigan. I want to thank the Arab American National Museum for inviting us and for giving us the venue here. They've done a great job. I know that Kim Solarski is here and Jamana Salami from the museum. Please, can you stand from the museum, and thank you very much for hosting us today. And many of you know, my name is Warren David, and you've probably heard this before, because this is my Ellis Island story, right? I mean, how many people have heard this story, right? You know how my name is not really Warren David, but I have to tell it because a lot of people say, are you an Arab? Are you of Arabic-speaking heritage? And I say, yes, I am. I'm an Arab. I'm a reverse Oreo, kind of, right? But my background, my grandfather came from Lebanon, Syria, like over 100 years ago, and his name was Sleiman Daoud Saloom. The middle name was Daoud. So when he came to Ellis Island, he said his last name was Saloom, and they were like kind of contemplating if they could write his name, and he was afraid that he wouldn't get in. So he said, my middle name Daoud, David. So David became the last name. And 5 years later, he went to get his citizenship, and now he spoke English, and they said to him, Mr. David, here's your papers. And he said, no, no, no. He said, my name is Saloom. He said, well, sorry. He said, no, I must change my name back. I could just see him doing that. And, he looked at it, and they said, well, it's $100. And he said, khalas. Forget it. Because that was just so much money back then. So we ended up, we're the only Davids in this country. All of our relatives in the bled, are Saloom. But I'm very proud of my Arabic heritage. I also want to tell you that, like a lot of people ask me, do you speak Arabic? And I tell them, I speak like kitchen Arabic, right? Because unfortunately, we never learned Arabic. I'm a third generation. My parents were born here, my grandparents came. But yet, there's these 4 words that I've used, and many of you have heard this. I travel all over the Middle East, and I've traveled, everywhere I go, and people think I speak Arabic. And I'm going to write a book, I think. I'm going to call it Yalla, Wallah, Smallah, Inshallah. They get me everywhere. People think I'm in a staz. I say, hey, how are you doing? Oh, Yalla, we go, wow, thank you. He speaks good Arabic. They start talking to me Arabic. I know what they're saying. But anyway, I got to tell you another story, and then we'll get into the presentation because it's kind of an interesting thing. I got a call last week from this Lebanese production company in Beirut. They're doing a reality. Now they're into reality shows like in the U.S. They said, look, we're coming to the United States, and we want to. We're looking for candidates that we can fulfill their dream. This is the whole concept of this reality show. And they want to do like Arab Americans here. So I said, great. I said, well, hey, look, I'm an Arab American, jokingly. So, oh yeah, I said, what's your dream? I said, well, I'd like to see a Palestinian state. There was like this big pause. It was like an Ian Hutton commercial. She said, I'm sorry, we can't fulfill that dream. Okay, anyway. But let's get into Arab America. Arab America, and how many people are familiar with Arab Detroit, Arab America? That's good. Well, we don't have to do a presentation, right? But now, we have, as you know, we are very much into promoting our culture, promoting diversity, and we have a special cultural performance, and she's such an accomplished performer. I've got to read this about her, but she's amazing. In an era where the Arab world, where the Arab world usually follows everybody, right? Follows the West. Kind of a twist where the West is following the Arab world. And I'll give you the take on this. It's this woman went to the Berklee School of Music in Boston. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri. She began her career performing alongside great musicians including Earth, Wind and Fire, The Roots, Bilal, Wycliffe Jean, Alison Krauss, actor Kevin James, Regina Carter, and the Eagles. And recently, she has studied Arab music. And this morning, she's going to sing 3 compositions. As an added note, she does not speak Arabic. Okay, does not speak Arabic, doesn't speak in the Arabic language, yet she sings Arabic. So I want you all to give a great applause and to welcome, from Boston, our vocalist, Lydia Lyon.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Thank you. How's everyone today? Good. So my name is Lydia Leon, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm going to sing 3 selections for you, 2 in Arabic and 1 in English. I guess I'll open by saying the first song I'm going to sing is Al-Hilm Al-Arabi, the Arab Dream, and I guess I kind of make my own interpretation of the song in thinking that, you know, in this day and age we're so connected by technology, and in an instant we can really contact each other through media and any type of like Twitter, Facebook, things like that. And the issue is, while that's a beautiful thing, it's also kind of detrimental to our human contact and communication. And it can also really promote a lot of misinterpretation of events happening around the world, and kind of people impose their own biases on masses by, you know, the communication through the internet and everything like that. But I think what's really important is realizing that we're all human and we should all really understand each other, and I think that's what we're all looking for, is that human connection, understanding, and acceptance. So with that, Al-Hilm Al-Arabi. Sorry, may I have a little bit more in my monitor?
Sure.
Thank you. This next song, I'll kind of need your help, audience participation, please. This next song is probably one of my favorite songs that I've heard in Arabic. It's Helwa Ya Baladi, how beautiful my country. And in a way I can really feel the essence of this song. While I'm not Arab in any way, but I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and probably all of you know about the kind of turmoil going on because of Ferguson and everything. And race relations have always been very tense. You know, some people living there will say that it's not that much of an issue, but I mean, when you graduate high school and you can't have a party with your classmates at your city's monument because of the KKK being present, you know, there are issues, you know. So in my opinion, this song really connects to me in that I want to go back home, I want to live there, but at the same time, I've discovered a place that's much better where I can really express myself and be who I want to be and not have to worry about the color of my skin, who I am, and you know, and worry if somebody's going to say something or do something to me. And that's kind of the pain that comes along with not being able to go back to where you're from, you know, for kind of my own personal reasons. So that's my connection to this song, and I know that, you know, we still have that beautiful love for where we come from, and it's where we grew up. It's how, you know, the food tastes, it's how, you know, your family is, it's how your friends are, and that feeling that you can't get anywhere else. And that's kind of what always pulls you back. So with that, Helwa Ya Baladi. Oh, and one more last thing. I need you all, when I sing كلمة حلوة وكلمتين
حلوة يا بلدي.
Yeah, so every time that comes in, there's a, yeah, everybody, and you know what, you can sing the whole song, I don't really care, but just at least give me the support on this part, because I'll be listening. Okay.
Yeah.
كلمة حلوة وكلمتين
حلوة يا بلدي.
غنوة حلوة وغنوتين
حلوة يا بلدي.
أملي دايما كان يا بلدي إني أرجع لك يا بلدي وأفضل دايما جنبك على طول. ذكريات كل اللي فات فاكرة يا بلدي، قلبي مليان بحكايات فاكرة يا بلدي. أول حب كان في بلدي مش ممكن أنساه يا بلدي، فين أيام زمان قبل الوداع كنا بنقول إن الفرح ده مستحيل، وكل دمعة للخدين كانت بتسيل مليانة بأمل إن احنا نبقى موجودين في بحر الحب على الشطين. كلمة حلوة وكلمتين
حلوة يا بلدي.
غنوة حلوة وغنوتين
حلوة يا بلدي.
فين حبيب القلب يا بلدي كان بعد عني يا بلدي، وكل ما بغني بفكر فيك واللي يا حبيبي انت سايبني رايح فين. أجمل لحم ده نغني أحمل اتنين يا محلى كلمة بلدي في غنوة من سطرين. يا ليل يا عين يا عين يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل كلمة حلوة كلمتين
حلوة يا بلدي.
غنوة حلوة وغنوتين قمر يا بلدي. أملي دايما كان يا بلدي إني أرجع لك يا بلدي وأفضل دايما جنبك على طول. قمر يا بلدي حلوة يا بلدي Thank you so much for your help. For this last song, it's an original piece. My friend wrote the piano and I wrote the melody and lyrics. It's a song I wrote for the earthquake in Japan that happened a few years ago, and I donated the song to a project to raise funds. But the song is really universal in that I guess it kind of helps me in a way that, you know, people ask me all the time, like, how am I connected to Arabic music at all? And, you know, when I was growing up, actually, I had friends, a lot of friends from Saudi, and they were showing me a lot of music and teaching me a lot of stuff about culture, like food and language and how to, you know, how to cook and everything, which was amazing. And they showed me a lot of music, and I really loved it. So that's part of my connection. And another is kind of understanding, you know, the plight of people kind of living in America, who, you know, when you're kind of a minority in ways, you can feel a little bit alone, and people have their own ideas and their own perception of you, and it's really hard to really blend people together. And that's really what this song is about. It's about when you're facing a hard time, such as in light of, you know, the things that happened in Chapel Hill and what happened in Ferguson. You know, it's really a time for the community to come together and to really understand one another and to really show that love and appreciation for each other. So this is really about building confidence in yourself and building confidence in your community and joining together in hard times. So with that, my song is called Breakthrough. There's a season for every mood and a reason for bad and good. But light comes only when eyes are open, giving strength to feel again, and love conquers hate. Only we determine our fate, and we'll find our way, and we'll find the way. I know dark in every hour gives way to a deeper power, and a breaking point comes through, giving way to you, and never backing down from all the faith you found, and you found your way,
we're going to adjourn in just a couple of minutes here, and she'll be available outside to take pictures and find out.
Hi, Lydia. How are you? Can you tell us a little bit about? We just had the opportunity and the pleasure of hearing Lydia Lyons down in the beautiful Arab American Museum this morning. Sorry, she literally sings in Arabic, yet speaks no Arabic at all, and I'm just curious as how that even came about. That was amazing, besides the fact that you've got an amazing voice. So where are you from and how did this come about?
Sure. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I had a lot of friends from Saudi growing up, and they taught me a lot of, little words and kind of tried to teach me Arabic, but they showed me a lot of music, and I just really fell in love with it. So I decided, probably since I was maybe 14 or 15, that I really wanted to sing it. So
I think besides the fact that it's literally a gift from God, for God's sakes, I mean, that was just amazing. That the ability to be able to do that is just impeccable. I do know that I heard your last song, and the name of the last song again was?
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough. Personally, myself, as a community activist and a person who just really fights for civil rights for everybody, you took me away with that song, and got a little teary-eyed because it really is. You look at today's narrative in today's country, it's really becoming such a volatile place at times, and it's incumbent upon us, people like you and I, and the Arab America, by the way, along with MEA TV, another form of channel of communication that allows us to maybe disperse that information out there.
Right.
So I know that song was pretty heavy there. So what is your goal and mission at the end of the day from all of this? Is to bridge and combine?
Yes, well, really my goal is, I grew up in a place that's, sometimes it can be very hard, relations between people because it's very segregated. And really my goal is, I've always loved people of different cultures because I didn't have that growing up. And I really want to just connect with as many people as I can and let everybody know that we are all in this together. We're all humans, and there are really very subtle differences between everybody.
There's subtle differences from our religion to our cultures to our music, and at the end of the day, to the human passion of love in itself. A mom loves a child no matter where she's from.
Right.
A father, we fight for everything no matter what. It's a human race. You're right.
If I may, I also always think that humans are not strong, and we're really made of flesh, and
yes.
So we don't really have that ability to fight or anything with our bare hands. So our real the thing that keeps us together is our communication, and is that bond of love, because we're always looking for that.
And I think the other factor probably is breaking down that fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
Once you get to know me, I think you'll get to love me. But if you don't know me, then you can't hate or love me. So, and you're right. I hope that this really goes a long way for you, for the sole purpose of the mission that you're and the message that you're delivering, I guess, is really, we need to do more of that. And I hope through Arab America, through MEA, through music, that we eventually break those barriers down and get that message across. So I really appreciate you coming out here, and I wish you the very best. And now, do you live here, by the way, real quickly?
I don't.
You don't live here?
I live in Boston.
So we get hopefully maybe we can get you back here sometime for some other community events here, and maybe MEA, and we'll get you in the studio and get you to talk to a little bit more about your accomplishments. Although you graduated, or did you?
Yes.
From which university?
Berklee College of Music.
Okay. As a mom who has a daughter that graduated from MSU, I want to make sure that everybody understands that it's all about the brains along with the beauty. So you are a graduate, and I wish you the very best. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Hi, Amal. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
This is an amazing event today.
Thank you. We are so excited, and the community came out for such a great celebration.
On a personal level, it's a great, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so happy myself as a friend and a family, and Arab America. Where'd that come from? Where did the dream in the?
This is a dream, just to connect, because we in Washington, we don't hear enough what's happening in Michigan, and the Michigan people don't know what's happening in Houston or Florida or any country, Chicago, Boston. And so we said we have to learn from each other. What are we doing? And so we every week we have 250 events, and we stay connected because we need each other.
We do, and I really love the passion that you bring, you and David, with this. By the way, he's a comedian, isn't he?
Yes, yes. We need fun because when we take things lightly, so many things complicated in this life, but we have to take it lightly, positively, and hopefully we move things forward with Arab America.
Here's the thing that I've noticed. I know with today's narrative, and in the piece that you guys talked about, it is a phenomenon. I hope it does become a phenomenon, because I think today's world, we as Arab Americans, we need to find that media, and we need to create a path where we can create that communication, because we need to learn to educate people. I think right now we're at that point where we need to educate and break down those barriers of fear. Whether we're Muslim, Christian, whatever Chaldeans, whatever country we're, but people need to be educated about our culture. And I think once we meet each other, once they meet us and they learn about us, they fall in love with us. Is that?
Yes, this is exactly our mission. And what's about, like you said, Arab Americans, they talk to each other, we get to know each other, but not enough the other world, our host country, America, they need to learn about us. So they learn about us through Arab America, they search and they call us for many resources, and we are there for them, and we feel good.
What are some of the resources, by the way? Can you break down a little bit real quickly about some of the resources that are?
We have the events, we have articles, we have the Arabic word of the day, we have the recipe of the day, we have the Arab American of the day, we have the radio station that we have music 24/7, and we have the television, the new television channel where we are. It's like public TV. It's more like public TV, and we have the Arab America Academy courses. You can take courses online.
On diversity.
Yes.
On diversity. Talk a little bit about the app. You also said that there was an app that now you can download.
Yes.
Also,
Right now you can
go ahead and tell them a little bit about the app.
You know, you're going to interview Warren.
Yes.
He will tell you more about the app, because in a second you'll have everything.
So
on your
who's the boss in this whole program?
We are both
the bosses. There you go.
Right.
Women power.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Emma. I wish you the very best with this Arab America.
Jardin is doing very, very well.
Absolutely.
MEA is on the top. We are learning from
Thank you. Can I tell you, I always keep saying I'm so proud of all this stuff, because between MEA and now Arab America and all that, I hope we continue
to serve the community.
And create that phenomenon, even take it to a higher level. So I really appreciate it. Good luck and good job.
Your media.
I love this. Yeah, this was a great presentation, by the way, today. Thank you so much. Mr. David, how are you?
How are you doing? It's so
good
nice to be here, to be back home.
Back home.
In Michigan.
We miss you. You're in Washington all the time.
We miss you too.
Yes, we do. With your great work. I've been following you for a while. Actually, you've been on media and Facebook for quite a while, but now with this new amazing Arab America and today's presentation, I was really taken aback by it. I really enjoyed it. It was so well put together. Great information regarding the phenomenon in the media moving forward for us as Arab Americans. So I asked them all, and I wanted to ask you also, because I know each one of you have your own mission. What is your mission and goal with all this?
Well, you know, when this was started back in Detroit in 2007 as Arab Detroit, the concept was basically to bring together our community, to unite and connect the Arab American community. As you know, our community is very diverse.
Yes.
We have many nationalities, many religious groups. You know, it's a very politically, ethnically, and religiously diverse community.
Yes.
And we wanted to bring them together. So we started Arab Detroit, and basically with events, so we could unite people with events. And what we found is that the communities were reading about each other. The Chaldean community was reading about the Palestinian community was reading about the Lebanese community, and so forth. And and it brought the community closer together.
Correct.
We then migrated the site to become Arab America about 4 years ago, and now we're taking it to a new level. You know, digital media is really, really hot, and you know, we're
Absolutely.
we are the leading provider of digital media about Arab Americans.
And what I like also, although it sounds like we're just targeting our own community, but you're really not targeting your own community. I think part of the goal with today's narrative is you also want to go beyond our own community and sort of break down that barrier of fear and educate people about our culture outside of our own culture. So is that part of your...
Yes, exactly. You know, that's the second half of our mission, is to get to non-Arab Americans. And we have many resources on the website. You can learn Arabic, you can learn about Arab Americans, about their background, about their history. You can find all kinds of resource links. We have so much information, and the events, and of course all the news that we aggregate every day from over 300,000 websites from all over the world. We bring news into our media platform or digital platform.
You know what I like? I think it's good that we let us tell our story. We're not allowing anybody else to tell our story. And this Arab America, and even like MEA, for example, I mean, you guys are allowing us to tell our own story instead of somebody else telling our story for us.
Too long, you know, others have been telling our story.
Exactly.
But it's time for us to take control of our narrative and for us to tell our story.
And tell our own story. Now, real quickly before we leave, I also want you to talk a little bit about the app.
Yes.
You mentioned something
Yes.
about the app, so
Yeah, well,
I'd like everybody to know a
just
little bit
happen to
about
have it here.
Very good.
This is the new Arab America app that you can basically just download. If you're on an iPhone or an Android, you can go to iTunes or to Google, and then, you know, this is the symbol here for the app. You can take a close-up there, right there, and it just opens up like any app. And what you can do is you can go in and you can see all the different things that we do. So it's like a menu comes up. So if you want to, so instead of just going to the website, you can go into the app. You can see events. So if I click that, it'll go into events. So it's really a very exciting concept. I don't think there are many organizations that have apps.
Yes.
And I think that as an Arab community, I think that we need to, all organizations, all of us that are doing work around the Arab cause should have an app, because as you know, most people are getting their information now from mobile phones. More than half of the people read the web, you know, on a mobile phone.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, I think the one thing that, there's a couple things for me. I think we need to make sure that we support each other. If there's anything I want to walk away from this interview, is to make sure that everybody gets onto Arab America. We need to tell our story, and we need to support you guys and get this place, get this where it needs to be, and create our own phenomenon in digital media. So,
I think we're all going up the mountain, and we're all taking a different path. And Arab America has a path. MEA is a great
that's okay, but
program.
We all,
Wally's a very dear friend, and I think, you know, MEA has been an institution here in the community. They're doing such great work.
Absolutely.
And I think that we work hand in hand.
Yeah, and a combination of all of it, and I wish you great success, and I really hope that this moves forward. Make sure that you guys get out here, support them, go on Facebook. Facebook page is?
Arab America.
Arab America.
Right.
So look it up, and let's give them some support, and hopefully we can get this moving forward.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with everything, David.
Thank you. It's a
Wish you
pleasure.
the very best.
Thank you.